On today's show, we're going to explore the most important LinkedIn updates marketers need to be on top of, including a way more people can see content from connections instead of so much recommended content. And will this impact the ability to reach people that are not connected or following you? Also, a few new analytics options that I think people are going to love, even if you're not a big analytics person, which I fall into that camp. And LinkedIn is cracking down on a very specific type of third-party tool. Want to make sure you're up to date on this, especially if it is part of your regular strategy on LinkedIn. My name is Jerry Potter, host of the Social Media Marketing Talk Show, where we break down all the latest social media news and what it means for marketers like you. This is a Social Media Examiner production, and today I'm joined by Judy Fox. Judy is a LinkedIn strategist. Her course is called the LinkedIn Business Accelerator. Judy, welcome to the show.
Excited to be here. I am only working with I have a broken arm, so if I'm expressing myself with a large hand and a tiny T-Rex hand. So
For those of you watching on YouTube, yes.
Yes.
And so sorry to hear about that.
That's okay.
All right, let's start off by talking about this test, and they're calling it a My Network feed tab, where they're letting people only see a feed of content, as I understand it, from first degree connections. So what do you see in there?
Yes, first degree connections. We all know that we would want to see what we signed up to see on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
if I get on the LinkedIn news feed, I don't want people I don't know sometimes taking over the feed. And so I think this is a really powerful update for people, especially if their user experience just is viral content that may not actually be in their industry. So this will pull it back to if you follow somebody and if you are first degree connected to them, you will see their content, not third degree or even second degree.
This will be interesting because what we've seen across the platforms is users always I want to see the people that I'm following that I'm connected with, but the data on the back end and the platforms see this is no, you don't. Right? Like we know you better than you do, as annoying as that kind of is. So do you see this as something that you think will get kind of used a lot, or as a like people will switch back and forth?
I'm hopeful for it because I think the people who have, been hacking the algorithm, there's so many people who post about how to post on LinkedIn for the algorithm. I mean, we can even talk about it. But what ends up happening is you see content you didn't really need, in especially like I said, if your industry conversations are not going viral because you just don't have an industry that is, maybe you're in healthcare and those posts don't go viral on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
you'd still want to see those. Those are the conversations you wish you were having on LinkedIn. And I am excited for that to be a possibility for everyone now, to be truly immersed in a news feed that is of their own choosing more because of who they follow and who they are first degree connected to. That is very
Yeah.
hopeful.
And they've said the plan is to test this for 5 weeks before deciding next steps. And obviously, if it moved forward, for people who do want their followers more to see their content, people that they are nurturing as opposed to trying to get discovered, this could be fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
I know LinkedIn, and you mentioned during the pre-show too, LinkedIn offers quite a bit of customization in the settings for their feed. So does this, like, do you see this replacing that, or what?
I would say it's going to add a really powerful layer of additional power to B2B marketers and anyone who's trying to do ideal client searches. If you're
Mm.
focused on a certain customer avatar, you can, number one, just make sure you're following those people and they should show up more in your news feed. And that is powerful. And then the second thing is, if you have maybe 10 ideal customers or clients you're trying to really target, you can create a custom news feed for yourself to make sure you're checking in with those companies or brands or individuals on a very regular basis. So I think it's like win-win. You're only then surrounding yourself by two really great news feeds now, and LinkedIn's helping you.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice too to not have to go into your settings to make changes if you just wanted to see more of your people, or maybe your people are boring this week and you want to see, more stuff from other people or whatever it
So
might
then
be.
to
So,
me, it actually allows me to only really have to rotate between two news feeds, a custom one that
yes.
I built for my opportunities. Maybe I'm targeting 10 speaking engagements this year. And so that means I'm networking with specific people to get on those stages. And
Mhm.
then I'm just talking for myself here as an example. And then the other opportunity is who I'm following and who I'm first degree connected with. I love that. I really hope this takes off on LinkedIn.
So one of the things that I see all the time, I'm not a LinkedIn premium user, but I see them in my feed all the time, is you can have this custom button that follows you everywhere on LinkedIn. And they just announced, I believe yesterday, a new custom button. So what's the deal with this?
Yeah, so they've created a relationship with Calendly. It is a, I guess, a partnership with LinkedIn and Calendly. And when you click book an appointment, if you directly link to your Calendly, it'll automatically within the LinkedIn platform open up Calendly, which just means we're not leaving LinkedIn. We're kind of almost opening up a pop-up page, booking a call on your Calendly, and then going back to our regular controlled experience on LinkedIn where it's like not making us move to an outside user experience, which I think is more seamless and actually pushes people back to your profile after they book a call. So I think
Yeah.
win there.
Well, for sure. And it'd be interesting too, because obviously the more stuff that happens, we're going to talk about attribution in a bit here with another update, but the more stuff that happens within LinkedIn, the more information LinkedIn has for analytics and then even possibly for ads. So that is interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you want to meet other marketers and learn the latest marketing strategies, imagine spending 3 days in sunny San Diego, learning next level strategies and meeting marketers from all over the world. Social Media Marketing World is coming up. And with your all access ticket, you'll learn from some of the smartest people on the planet. Plus, you're going to get plenty of opportunities to talk shop with other marketers facing the same struggles that you are. Judy is going to be there talking about combining AI and LinkedIn to improve your B2B marketing success. But don't wait. It's almost here. Social Media Marketing World, March 30th through April 1st. Go to socialmediamarketing.world to grab your all access ticket today. Again, go to socialmediamarketing.world, and we hope to see you there. All right, some analytics updates. I like when other people interpret analytics for me, but some of these are actually pretty cool. Starting with LinkedIn newsletter analytics updates. So, what are we going to be able to do going forward with this?
Yeah, LinkedIn newsletter analytics. I always love when LinkedIn is leaning more and more into a product and for them to update the newsletter analytics to add email open rates and email send rates. So that power shows you how many people have opted into receiving your emails. So, of course,
Mm.
they're going to subscribe on LinkedIn. They're going to get access to your LinkedIn newsletter on LinkedIn. But now to have the data of how many people have also allowed that LinkedIn email to come into their, user experience off of LinkedIn, that is really incredible data. So thank you, LinkedIn. That is a step in the right direction. We obviously, the power of knowing your reach and where it's coming from and your open rates. We were just talking, and I can be vulnerable and share I'm getting a 35% open rate on my LinkedIn newsletter on email. So, email, my percentage of people opening the email that comes out from LinkedIn from my newsletter is 35%, which I'm just celebrating that I know what the data is and I think it's really good.
So for people that haven't seen these emails, because I'm somebody who unsubscribes from all notification emails, like I'll come to LinkedIn when I'm ready to look at this.
Right.
What is it like? Does the headline show up in the subject of the email or what?
Yes. So your title of that specific newsletter that went out, not the name of your newsletter, not the, if you call your newsletter 5-minute marketing tips or something,
Mhm.
it's going to be the title, like the how to
Okay.
attend Social Media Marketing World and have an amazing time. So that's the name of the article that goes out describing what you're talking about. That will be the email subject line. So, and it
Okay.
doesn't look like it's coming from LinkedIn. It really says it's coming from Jerry Potter via LinkedIn. So it really has a feeling that you're featured, the title of your article is featured, and your newsletter is the star of the show.
So that's actually pretty great that they've gone to that effort. And obviously now when you're thinking, if you haven't been before, when you're thinking about your article titles, not only will somebody want to click on LinkedIn, but think of it as that email, that email subject line, because you can improve it, right? If you are
Yeah.
getting lots of clicks on LinkedIn, but really low, open rates on your email, then that's definitely something to consider and look at. And obviously you always have to keep in mind, because I see some LinkedIn newsletter articles that are, have eternal titles. And so always
The
good to,
longest title.
yes, think about those first 4 to 5 words for sure. So,
And that's
um,
something if you're using an AI tool to help you with a title creation, because I think title creation is a powerful use of AI.
mhm.
You can ask it to give you ideas for ways to increase your email open rate and ways you might be able to title it that way. So I think this is powerful. This is good data, and you're now going to know the results on the other side.
And then another opportunity is analytics now around comments, which, and I've been saying to people for years, the power on LinkedIn is in the comments, like unlike any other platform. And so now they are rolling out these comment analytics. So talk to us about exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, comment analytics are showing up for you underneath each comment that you create on LinkedIn. So it will also be available for any company page that is commenting too, which is powerful for brands to understand the power of their ability to go out and comment and how much reach are they getting. So the positives are you're going to be able to see, wait, we now have a certain way of commenting that has increased our views, and there's actual data to back up commenting. Because I've always been saying, just like Jerry mentioned, the power on LinkedIn is in the comments. Many times you can start the relationships, and the visibility you get on a comment has always been known, but I think now we've got data to back it up, and you can actually prove it within your company and your marketing team as a metric that you can point a finger to and say, no, we've increased our commenting reach, which is actually translated to more profile or company page views.
Have you ever started to start a relationship with somebody on LinkedIn and they never post, so you can't do it in the comments?
That is true, but sometimes even the power of you supporting if they're out there commenting, you can support their comments.
Yes. Yeah.
So there is some power there, but yeah, obviously if somebody's not active on LinkedIn, there's nothing you can do. So
Yeah, yeah. There's just been a couple of times over the years where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna follow this person first, and then I'm gonna start to build a relationship in the comments. And then it's like, oh my God, it's been a month. They never post. So,
the
but
other
otherwise,
part of
very
this that
powerful.
I think is very interesting, or at least allows you to understand the power of commenting, is to be an early commenter on somebody's post. So if somebody you know is a very successful or consistent creator on LinkedIn, somebody who typically gets 100 or 200 comments, and you're one of the first of the 100 comments they're going to get on that post, that is a very fascinating power right there, that you're going to actually be able to see the difference between if you comment within the first 5 to 10 minutes versus if you comment an hour or
Mm.
two later. I'm not saying you run around LinkedIn trying to be the first comment on 100 pieces of content. That's ridiculous. What I'm explaining is, even if your brand or your business recognized maybe you have a really amazing client customer relationship and you want to be one of the first people to comment because you realize their audience is the perfect referral business for your business.
Mm. Yeah, and some companies do, or people do comment or post at the same time every week. So if it was
Mhm.
an important enough relationship, like a deal you're close to closing, then you could just be like, all right, Tuesdays at 9:58, get ready for that 10 o'clock post.
And
Or
now you're going to see the results of that early commenting through the actual metrics of how much views that gets. Because I will tell you, I've already seen the numbers. If you are an early commenter, especially you've been smart about your commenting, we're talking the difference of thousands of views.
wow. Okay. So I'm glad you said that too, because
Yeah.
one of the things that I tell people when they're, trying to increase engagement is, just like nobody wants to be the first one to go to a party, nobody wants to be the first one to leave a comment sometimes, right? Like there's almost
Yeah.
some vulnerability there, but what an argument for being the first one, especially if you're
Yes.
going to leave something meaningful.
Again, don't be thirsty and try to be a first comment on everyone on LinkedIn. I will be blunt. You don't want to be early to every party, but what if you were early to 12 parties a year? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if you picked strategically? There's a few people that if I'm early on their content, it will serve me. It will be the power is on the other side of getting visibility within that specific audience.
I love that. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And then an update too that I'm kind of surprised wasn't there before, but now it looks like we're getting the ability to select a custom date range when looking at some of the analytics, right? What does this apply to exactly?
Yeah. So the power of the LinkedIn analytics has been allowing us to range between, I think, 7 days, 14 days. We can see a 30-day window and then a 90 and 365. So they've given us ranges, but now when we click on the word custom, you'll be able to actually track the data from maybe a specific campaign date. Maybe you made a post and you know exactly the day you made that post and you started really pushing for a specific maybe book launch or podcast or whatever you had that you were working on. And you can put the exact date range and track your metrics that way. I love that. That is so much more power in your communication to your team, your results, how your success is going around a specific campaign too.
Those I don't usually get excited about analytics updates, but those are some good ones for sure.
I almost am like, why did that not exist? Like,
yes, yeah.
But I'm really glad it exists now. So that is an exciting update. I'm really loving all these updates.
So we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there is a third-party tool type that LinkedIn is cracking down on that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But a couple of ads updates, starting with an attribution update, basically how to better track how well your ads are doing. So what are you seeing with this?
I was going to say, number one, I'm going to always refer back to AJ Wilcox as our attribution ad updates. And I'm going to ask for your support on this one because I don't know. You tell me. I am not the ads expert here. So,
Well, the thing I always say about ads or attribution basically is when they're accurate, like there's nothing more valuable because the easiest way to be successful with ads is to know that for every dollar I put in, I get $3 back or whatever it might be. So, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, if this looks like they're updating the conversions API, which of course helps work with some other third-party tools, which is really great. And they're testing a new revenue attribution report feature that lets advertisers see how specific customer campaign interactions contribute to the business revenue. So, for people that are doing ads, AJs and the other people of the world, I think this is going to be a pretty impressive thing. And then the other thing they talked about was predictive audiences features, which is essentially allowing new company list targeting and retargeting sources, which give you more tools to improve audience selection. So again, the more we can do with this, just like we talked about with the Calendly update, which, we can't track that yet, but who knows, the more data you have that is, if it's within LinkedIn, it's first party stuff, which is really, really powerful.
yeah, I was going to say, I think they're also leaning into LinkedIn's AI to analyze and create your audience. So
yeah.
Did I read that wrong? Okay. Yeah.
Well, AI is making everything smarter, right? Most of the time.
Exactly.
Not all of the time.
When you mentioned the button though, for the Calendly thing, I wanted to point out like, oh, that would be such a good data point to know how many clicks am I getting, because I won't know. Oh goodness. That's my next crossing my fingers LinkedIn launches that one.
How many people are clicking your link and not booking, essentially?
Correct. Yeah. Because then you would at least know, oh wow, I have this many clicks, but they're not booking. So I need to fix something on the booking page.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a third-party tool that LinkedIn is cracking down on. And sometimes these tools come out and they make our lives much, much easier. But a very specific type of tool that you may be using in your marketing is probably going away if it hasn't already. So tell us about this update, Judy.
So yeah, there was a lot of buzz on the platform when some pages on LinkedIn were removed, and it literally just said company page does not exist, and it had the gray dot of death basically, where an entire company is being removed from LinkedIn, and that then deletes all of their posts, all of their reach, all of everything. So yes, they've been removing data scraping type of tools and automation. I am not 100% sure why they targeted those two specific companies, other than they had to start somewhere and they started. And I think that is an interesting signal to the platform to say, you are taking a risk using these tools. Instead of maybe going after each creator using these tools, we will then just directly go to the companies to shut them down. So either way, it's a risk for your business or company to use a third party, unapproved third party tool. LinkedIn does create relationships like they're doing with Calendly, they
Mhm.
have other relationships on LinkedIn that are approved third-party tools. So I would try to use as many approved tools as you can.
Well, and it's pretty fascinating, as you mentioned, that not only is like the tool not going to work, but the company page is just gone too. And so,
Yeah. So it
just in case,
worked for that company. I mean, the ripple effect is pretty. I can see why people's posts were very shocked. There was a lot of, I guess, maybe very emotional for some people because, of course, if they've connected their brand and their business to a specific tool, especially if it was helping them run their LinkedIn account, they feel lost all of a sudden. Like, that's how we were doing our business. That's how we were generating leads. That's how we were doing everything, that they were banking on that tool.
yeah, and the two main ones they brought up were Seamless.ai and Apollo.io. And if you use these, you probably already noticed this, but I'm thinking about like the agency people in our audience where like you've been using this for clients and promising it for clients and it's working. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, do we go back to them and tell them we can't do this anymore or do we find another workaround? So,
Oh, yeah, the ripple effect of agency work. Yeah, that is also, you know, that would be very eye-opening to those relationships and how much they've had to scramble to clean that up or shift them to another tool or reassess that if they're going after all these tools, why would you shift to another tool that either isn't approved or that's gonna really yeah, the ripple effect is pretty big there. So
yeah, without question. All right. One of the reasons that we love having you on the show, Judy, is because you're tight with LinkedIn. You've been there, and they announced that they are opening a new like physical space for people. So, what is this? What are they calling it? And where is it? And what are all the details around this?
yeah, when I think of this, I think of it as like a creator space. It says that they want to have a space for you in the UK it's an experience center and to be able to provide workshops, access to experts. I'm picturing a place to maybe record some videos. I am very fascinated by this, and I'm going to be in the UK this summer. So I'm excited to look into how to check it out and what this is gonna be like, so that is
I
really
was just.
exciting.
Did you see where it is in the UK? I was just looking and I realized I didn't have it in my
Oh,
notes.
yeah, you're right. It says in the heart of London,
Okay.
so
Okay. All
I
right.
am
Well, yeah, we're both going to be at the same conference this summer in the UK, which is not in London, but my family's going to be traveling. I'm like, okay, maybe we check that out. I do like it when companies do this kind of thing where they provide this kind of space for making content creation easier for brands and individuals and things like that. So,
yeah, I think it's exciting, especially because we've gone from wanting to do a lot of things remote, which is powerful. I mean, we're remote here on a video together, me and Jared.
mhm.
And at the same time, we could meet up this summer, be in person, and record a video here in the London, UK Experience Center. So there's a lot of power in recognizing how much we do want to be back in person together. And we'll see each other really soon at Social Media Marketing World.
That too. Although now that you said that, I'm like, maybe we look at the dates. What if we could do the show live from the LinkedIn Experience Center in London next
Oh, that would be
summer or
pretty
something?
cool. There's some coordination there, but we could make it happen.
All right. And, the two big stories across LinkedIn over the last couple of years has been video, especially vertical short videos, and then newsletters. And now they're sort of coming together with a new resource that marketers can take advantage of. What is this about?
So the first one I'll say is this. They launched a LinkedIn create video resource. So they're trying to support creators to do video. There's been some data that came out saying video is growing on the platform the fastest of all content. They said it's having about a 2 to 3x growth rate right now of how many people are jumping on that as a type of content to create on LinkedIn. LinkedIn wants it, so they are also pushing it out, finding more ways to feature it. So that one of the ways they're featuring video more is to embed a video. It's like you just upload a video into a LinkedIn newsletter directly. So if
Yes.
I'm inside this create video newsletter that LinkedIn just launched, I'm able to, at the very top, play a video that is inside the newsletter, just living in there. It's not anything that makes me click out of it, I guess it's just natively uploaded inside the newsletter, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, well, and an opportunity too, because obviously native stuff. Even though you could play an embedded YouTube video, native stuff is usually going to get favored a little bit.
Mhm.
Even though it's an extra step, that's really really cool. And then they actually launched a newsletter specifically for creating video on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. It's very like video on video. So they're giving you best practices, they're giving you featured video posts that when you're scrolling the news feed, you're going to see the video is taking up the news feed. We all know that if you can pop on any social media platform and you stop somebody's scroll, they're like blowing video up. If you could see my hands, they're making it the entire scroll.
Yeah.
So you can't almost miss somebody when they're on video. They're like, oh wow, Judy's on video here. there's Judy Vox on video. So
In
it
your
is
face.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely don't, because I rarely click on the video tab, and you do not have to go there. They are putting these videos in the feed for sure. So if you want to find this newsletter, it's called Create Video. I imagine it would be pretty easy to find either searching on LinkedIn or with a quick Google search. So, all right, quick reminder, Social Media Marketing World takes place March 30th through April 1st. Judy and I will both be there. We would love to see you and say hi. Grab your ticket today at socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world. And until then and after then, Judy, where's the best place to discover more about you?
Oh, go to judifox.com and you can find me on LinkedIn. Hello, Judy Fox. JUDI is the key.
All right, and a couple of other podcasts to add to your listening lineup. We have the AI Explored podcast as well as the Social Media Marketing podcast. Until next time, may you be wise with your marketing decisions. Thanks, everyone. Bye.